We all go a little mad sometimes. Forget you. Here's Johnny.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Horror Hour. It's the place we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things horror. But for this episode, it's about Supernatural Academy. And so I'm one of the hosts here, Yutaka. Hello. And I'm joined with Liam.
Hello.
And then another guest host, Cass.
Hey.
And then I'm really excited to have back, oh my gosh, it's Gigi Saul Guerrero, who is the voice of Mischa.
Hi.
Yeah. She's under the weather.
So for all of you wondering, yes, I am a voice actor. During the day and at night, I'm Batman. But it's very ironic that the last time I was on your show, I was in my studio booth and I looked so professional. And then earlier before the Zoom, I'm like, listen, man, I think I'm going to have to do this in bed because I think, you know what it is? I think my body is just not handling Canada's weather right now.
Oh,
So it's so cold. It's so cold. I shouldn't even be this tanned here. You know, everybody looks at me like, where did this bitch go? Because she's glowing. And I'm like, well, I was back home in Cancun, right? And so I think just, I can feel the energy here. And it's so cold. So I think finally my body was like, shut down. So it's just too ironic today. But I'm happy to be here. So thank you.
Well, love that. Well, speaking of cold, I think it's kind of come down a little bit. Some of it's melted, but we had about a foot of snow dropped on us the past couple of days. So I don't do well with snow. I just don't.
Oh,
but
really? This is why we're going to get along just fine. A lot of people love when I say this, but I really mean it. Like, I think snow looks beautiful when it's starting to fall. It's like super nice. But I really see snow like, like a booty call. It's like, you're here, you enjoy it, but leave. Like next day,
Yes.
I don't want to hear about you. Like, it's like, bye.
That's fit. Yeah.
Or I'm just like, it's like like an annoying ex-girlfriend, it's like they're just so awesome and so hot, but they're like, you gotta go because when snow starts to get dirty and gross and it's like ruining everybody at traffic, it's just same as a psycho ex. They don't go away. So I like them to just show up, you have a good time, and then you're out of here, So to me, that's snow. We have a very, very toxic relationship, but that's what I have to say about snow.
I love it.
That makes sense.
So, well, then we will get into
Your co-hosts here are like, who did you bring on?
I actually told them too. I was like, guys, y'all don't worry. Gigi is so much fun. You're going to be laughing the entire time. I'm like, Gigi's the type of person. I'm like, I would go get drinks with Gigi. I would. I'd be nervous because I'd be worried though that we'd be drinking too much. But I'm like, Gigi's one to go party with.
And the next day you're gonna sound like me. Say, yeah, no, if you and I went out for drinks, yeah, you'd end up like me. The problem is that I love to talk, I love to laugh, and I'm loud. Like people know I'm in the room. So even when I'm sick, I'm like, all good. That's why I'm happy to be here because I love you guys. I'm a fan. And I'm a bigger fan that you guys made your screen. You're more prepared than I am. God damn it. Yeah. Like, I love it, you guys.
We've got to put a little bit of professionalism in with us. Because everything else about us is ridiculously messy.
That's true, yes.
I think that's why I feel at home with you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll start off then. What about Mischa attracted you to the role?
What's interesting is that when you get voice auditions, oh my God, I have like a sweat mustache. Ooh. Sorry. Before I answer your question, I need to clear the air here. So when you're, made, for some reason, it was chosen that my only sweat glands are here. Like, I don't know why. Instead of having like sweat glands, another spot, for some reason, only here. And I'm always like, really? Out of all the places, the most unattractive place, like what? Single forever, right? But yeah, to answer your question, usually with voice acting, when you get auditions, most of the time you don't usually get a lot of information, and actually you don't get the scripts at all. So a lot of it is just got to be your first interpretation, like your first instinct, because when the lines for the audition are really, really long, they don't really like to hear 2 takes, because then the tape is too long. You kind of just have to, especially because you can't see somebody, you really got to get them right away with like something. You got to do, right? Because think about it, like when you audition for film or TV, they see you, right? And maybe your smile is really good. Maybe you look the part. So people will keep watching and hope that you are it. And this one, you're just listening and clicking next. So it's a lot more competitive. So so when I got the breakdown for Mischa, all I knew was that this was based on the books, the super cool books. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, this is due tomorrow. I don't have time to read them. And most of the time, things that are adapted change completely.
That's true.
Yeah. So to me, like what really attracted me, like I have a sister as well. And I saw in the breakdown that she re-encounters her sister that she's never met. Same with her father, she's never met. And her and her mom almost, I remember in the breakdown, it said they have almost lived like an immigrant life. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I know what that's like. Like right away, I was like, okay, I really get this. But what I thought was so interesting is that just by the name, and when I saw the cover of the books, I was like, okay, this has supernatural on it. It feels like it has a lot of magic. And I'll be honest with you guys, in my audition, I did say the word asshole. So that was the first time in voice acting career I swore. So I was like, okay, I'm in. I mean, this was really all the information I had. So it really is hard to say like what attracted me, right? Mm-hmm. But just when you're able to connect certain things that, a sister, the immigrant life, and it said that they were looking for Latinx actresses, sorry. So I was like, holy shit, like that doesn't happen often, to put women of color in the front for animation, like to specify that's what you were looking for. Most of them don't say at all that. So it's open. But for this one, the lead had to be that. It was really neat. They could have gone, from what I see in the books, these girls could have been any ethnicity, really. Mm-hmm. These sisters could have been any ethnicity. but they really specified 2 Latinas. So, Larissa Diaz, who plays Jessa, she's Brazilian. It was pretty funny. We couldn't even communicate but in English to each other because she speaks Portuguese, I speak Spanish, but it was just really, really neat for the two of us. It's never happened. So, there was enough to be attracted to the role for sure. Yeah.
And I think now my voice is going.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's contagious through Zoom. Bye, guys.
Not done. What I love about Mischa's character is just how she's both fierce and also vulnerable, and is at an age where she's just growing into herself and all the facets of her identity. There's so much there. So I would love to know, as Mischa grows up, what are you most looking forward to her growing into herself? And then what do you hope that sparks in audiences?
Oh, for sure. I really do feel in all of these characters that like a lot of the friends in the group, including Mischa, there's so many such like topical themes for young adults.
Yeah.
And I really felt with Mischa, and what I hope young audiences get out of her character specifically is that it's really okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also that it's really okay to be really sure of who you are. I really felt Mischa especially never bought in to change for somebody else, which I really like. I felt that throughout the whole season, she really was so sure of who she is, maybe not where she belongs, but of what she's meant for. It was just so nice to see Mischa from the very first episode. She takes care of her mom. I really cares for her. And as the rest goes, trying to fit in, she really was always, and I'm very like that. Maybe it's my Mexican side. She was always so honest.
Yeah.
Even when she sees all these supernatural teens learn not the right stuff about the human world. She's like, so much more you guys don't know. But she keeps this attitude throughout the whole show that I think definitely audiences who are of a younger age will take out of her, that it's really okay to be sure of who you are. And it's also okay to not be okay. She was super expressive.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy, was it emotional many times. And I think nowadays, there's a lot of, with social media and stuff, there's so much mental health awareness that I think the younger viewers need to understand that it's okay. Like, it's really okay to go through hard times, because nowadays it's easy to keep it to yourself. It's really easy to not talk about stuff. And so, what I like about this one is that characters like Mischa really show a lot of these themes, and go for it and work hard and are not afraid to fail, really. Like she's like, I'm gonna go into the cloister and just like, I remember reading that in the script. I was like, oh, okay, I might not be in the next episode. All right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a long answer. I'm so sorry.
No, that was a great.
No, I loved it.
No. Mischa's a meaty role, so meaty answers, please.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have to ask that. So, were there any perks in doing voiceover acting, per se, to obviously like normal, just
what
would be the like real life acting, like
in front of the camera versus behind?
Yeah, like,
or
is there a perk to it?
I mean, when you generalize like in front of the camera or voice acting, I really like how in your own zone you are, and you just go in your pajamas to work.
Oh, I mean,
there is no judgment.
Yep.
I've seen the funniest dressed people, and it really is, you are just in your own planet with these headphones, and you're in this little square. Sometimes, pre-COVID, you got to act with other actors in the room, and you feed off each other's energy. But there's such a freedom to voice acting that it's, you get to really try back to back so many things, and then it's just about listening. So in you know, when you're acting in front of the camera, you're running out of time. You're doing it super specific to land a certain position, to look a certain way. You know, like it's a lot of things that you get sometimes 1 to 2 tries because you're always running against the clock. And for voice acting, it really is, you just try so many ways back to back. And they're like, oh yeah, first take. Or like, just change this word. You know, there's such a easy way about it. But don't get me wrong. For a lot of actors, it's a really hard job. And we can get into that later, but if you have it, it's awesome. Like, because let me tell you guys, directing is not a consistent job. I'm still looking out there of what's next. But with something with voiceover, it's quick turnaround. You're in and out. You get good money, and you're out. So the perks are pretty great. And for this specific show, I have to say the perk that helped me so much, that was just a blessing, was that this was my first big booking during the pandemic when it first started. So I didn't have a studio booth, but when it all shut down in March 2020, I was so convinced that filmmaking was over. I remember saying that out loud. It's done. But I think animation and video games are gonna keep going. So I built, my best friend helped me build this booth in downstairs. And I remember on one of my callbacks, it sounded terrible because the booth wasn't done. And the people of this show were like, can she do a callback again? It sounds very echoey. I'm like, yeah, because there's no foam anywhere. So, you know, this really motivated me to have like a solid job of some sort. And I just worked a lot, and still am, during the pandemic because of this booth, because now actors should have one. So it was the coolest blessing ever. Like, it really was. So it was this show and Angry Birds that I booked in that first 2 months of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was the first 2 months of the pandemic. Hey, Gigi, you booked Mischa. What? Like, I was like, what? Super cool. So in my booth, I got to do the table read, you know, on Zoom with everyone. We were all late because we didn't know how to use it. And well, the perks are very obvious of how convenient it really was at the time, and just a blessing that you can call this your job. So it's a lot of fun. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's great.
I love that answer.
And building off of something you mentioned, like a beat it go, like I feel like a lot of people don't realize how physically exhausting it is to do voice acting work, because like on live action, if you need to go run in a scene, you're running. In the booth, you're like, like, what was the hardest part?
Everybody looks like a troll in the booth. Like, you're jumping and running, and you're doing, because you got to get that effort out of your voice. I've done a lot of video games where they call it efforts in voice acting. We need to record efforts, they're called. So it's like, okay, sounds good. Okay, action. And you're doing all these things that you're getting punched, killed, gutted, like all these things. And I think we need to start recording voice actors more, because it is funny. Like, I think they would be the next viral hit. Like, if you guys could see the faces that I do, because I'm very animated. I'm a walking cartoon. And like the faces I do to just get these efforts out, like I'm doing all these things to just and you're right. It takes a lot of work. You know, I think there was moments on Supernatural that was one of the first times I actually took off my shoes. So I don't know why, but I had to take off my shoes at work. So there could be more efforts. There could be more movement. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. It's pretty crazy job.
That's
It's
amazing.
mind-boggling, isn't it?
I guess I take for granted that I don't put on shoes when I'm at work because I work from home most of the time.
Yeah. No, but this was a really interesting job to record because like I said, it was at the beginning of pandemic, right? And it was one of those jobs that you couldn't work with other actors, and like everybody was trying to figure it out. And so I was very lucky that this was the only voice gig still to this day that I actually got to work with Larissa, who plays Jessa, at the studio. But we were so apart from each other. And it was at the times where like plexiglass and like, all these things. And I'm really glad that this production really went for it, because our sister relationship, I don't think would have worked out if we recorded separately, which I've done for every show so far since pandemic, except for this one. And so it really was great to hear her act so I can react, and vice versa. Because what I love about the show that I've not done on any other animated series is that it really feels quite real in certain moments. It really feels, it still has the fun and the fantasy, but a lot of our themes, it really was heavy stuff sometimes. So I don't think it would have worked if we weren't together. So, I'm very thankful. I mean, and I still haven't acted on a show with somebody else. It's been separate in every show I've been on so far. Oh. So I'm so glad that this one, we made it work.
Well, without being too spoilery, because I do agree, that's what I actually really enjoyed about this show, were the heavy topics and just the way things were addressed. But what was your favorite moment within this season, without being too spoilery?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I had a lot of fun having Mischa try and fit in at that school, because you know why? Because I felt identical to when I first moved from Mexico to Canada, and it was like, it's that shock of a first world, really. Mm-hmm. And so when Mischa's like, oh wow, oh my god, in the first I think it's episode 2, seeing this world of like magic, I had too much fun. And like I really had too much fun, because I was like, I know exactly what that feels. So I gotta say that whole episode, I had a really fun time. And then it had moments that I felt I was almost not acting, because like when she meets some of the mean girls, she says to her sister, "We hate them, right?" Sure. It was moments like that I sometimes would get it on the first take, because I was like, wow, I'm like that. So, I gotta say that to me was probably one of my most favorite like moments. But there was a lot of funny and weird new stuff that we tried, but that specific episode, I just had way too much fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love how the script is like, it's never not fun, even while it's like handling stuff that can be really, really serious or just like nuance. Like I love so much how it handles gender identities, and like how when it does come up, it's very straightforward. It's just like, hey, here's my pronouns, what's up? And then there's even moments where someone misuses pronouns, and it's quickly cleared up, just being like, no, that's wrong, it's they them. And it's like, okay, cool. And that meant a lot to me as someone who's non-binary. Like I am so excited for younger generations just to see that, and see that like it's a normal accepted thing in this world, and it should be all the time. without getting too emotional. But is there, or were there any other moments as like that for you in the show? Because there's so many moments like that. It talks about immigration. It talks about like literally keeping kids in cages, which was like, it's still so real. And for you, what like really like hit you in the heart?
Yeah, and you know, this was one of those projects with a lot of voiceover. And I'll be honest, and I think a lot of voice actors can admit to this. There's a lot of like, you know, quick reads. You prepare really quick, and all right, I'm ready for tomorrow. This show, and exactly with everything you said, had me so engaged in my prep. I've never over prepared in voiceover still this much. And as I would read the script, I had a exact reaction like you. I really was like, wow, we're really talking about this. But what I like about it is that it still added the escapism of entertainment and fun, because I still find that in our entertainment industry, I still find that though we're on the right path of accepting diversity and change and authenticity, I still find, though on the right path, I still find we have so much more room to not make things feel so forced, and to not make things feel so much like a checklist. Okay, we're talking about the, you know, BIPOC, we're good. Oh, we're talking about pronouns, good. You know, how it just feels like, like you did your job. But I love that this show, and when I was reading and prepping, I was like, nothing feels forced, and nothing was over talked about. Because I think it's so easy also for people who are just stubborn and are not open to these changes. It's easy to shove on them like this new era of pronouns, this new era of diversity, this new era, you know, and these problems of such as immigration and the border crisis. I mean, I talked about it on Culture Shock on my feature, right? It's just, it still feels that we can force it in films and TV shows, and I really love that this show did not do that. It was like, yeah, I go by they them, oh, she her, and it was like it was part of the world. That's what works. It, like, everything was just part of it. And I think the most beautiful moment in this show was when Mischa was trying to cover up
the makeup moment.
Yes. Oh. And her best friend, who's African American, was like, you can't change somebody's skin color. They're purple. And I remember reading that, and my character goes like, oh my gosh, you're right. I'm so sorry. The characters could have gone on some drama and kept going, like we see on viral videos all the time.
Yeah.
We see that all the time, of people just pushing when somebody got something wrong. And that makeup moment, I remember recording that, and I was like, wow, why can't we all just be like that? It's such a great moment, because then Mischa puts rainbows on on our purple friend over here, and was like, well, what do you think now? And everyone's like, yeah, you look like you can go to a pride parade. And I was like, it's just so lighthearted and talking about these themes. So I hope for a season 2, because this show, I've yet to see something like that that's for young adults, that everybody can just sit down and enjoy. You know, it just feels like a Saturday morning cartoon that you can just relate to so much. But I'm glad you brought that up, because definitely I was very thankful of a lot of moments.
I would say that's one of the most refreshing things about this. I mean, I wish, thinking about when I was younger, seeing this, because I do think that it just helps, you know, it helps normalize things. And it didn't feel like tokenism at all. This felt really just, it was fully realized. It had layers. It was just normal, but also it was just accepted, which is, at the end of the day, that's really what everyone wants. And so I loved that about the show, but I will say, yeah, the kids in cages, I was just like, wow, you guys are going there at times.
Yeah.
It's a great show, but I don't think I mean, I think it's great for kids because I think it's a great way to address topics. But I think young adults, and even myself as an adult, I think there are just those themes that you can pick up on, and I sat back and I was like, I appreciate everything about this, and I am wanting a second season because I just love it. To me, like my inner child was just like, I wish I saw this back in the day. I loved it.
That's awesome. And listen, when I watched the show, I forgot the cliffhanger we left on. And I actually said out loud, what the fuck? I was like, did we really do that to everybody? I forgot. I just, it had been some time. I forgot of the insane
I was so mad.
moment at the end. I was like, what? Damn. And it was, this was seriously after so long. And like I told you guys, this was really a show I had to prep for, like like really write down my notes to get the performance across and understand the world. It was so nice to just see it come to life because I really forgot of a few things. And I mean, some of those, action sequences of hurting each other. I was like, oh, damn, I forgot that we really fight in this show. And I had such a good time just seeing Mischa really suck at the fighting at first. I was like,
oh yeah.
I was laughing so hard, but it was just really nice to revisit it and actually sit back, not judge your work, and just watch something really good. But yeah, a second season would be awesome. I really hope for it too.
Yeah, I was just like, what? I remember even messaging you. I was like, they better not do some cliffhanger ending. I will be mad because I was fully, it still am, was just invested in the story. I'm like, I can't believe this shit.
Very much.
So since you're saying obviously you hope that there is a season 2, what would you want to see Mischa? What would you want to see explode with Mischa in season 2?
I mean, I honestly, I love that you specifically asked that question because the answer is right behind you on your backdrop. Yeah. Oh, wow. This soup is actually bringing it back. I thought I was gonna go. But what I really, if there is a season 2, which I'm like, oh, let's hope so. I really want to see Mischa fail and get back up of all things of her wolf and just like explore her wolf to another level. I just loved discovering what everybody can do with their, not to spoil what happens with Jessa's character, but I loved just that connection that all the characters had with their other half, whatever animal it was. And I think I feel this way more because I actually got a little emotional seeing Mischa's mom lose hers.
Oh yeah.
And that moment just it's not a spoiler because it everything will make sense early on, but just that connection that the mom had to lose, I really connected it as having to adapt with another culture, and how to me, I just saw that double meaning and it got to me because they really animated the mom emotional during that, and I was like, oh my God. And what happens at the very end with that wolf, I was just like, there's so much more that I think Mischa doesn't have with her wolf yet. Because even in one of the scenes was like, Mischa goes, so what's it feel like to tap into your wolf? And all the students are like, we don't talk about that.
Oh my, I loved that.
I laughed so hard because I'm like, oh my God, there's so many meanings here. And actually, when we were recording that scene, we were laughing too hard. We took too long to record that scene because we were the voice director, the producers, the sound engineer, Larissa Diaz and me. We were fucking around. I'll be honest.
I
Like
was cackling at that. Oh my God.
and honestly, I think they did a good job because it definitely, we did things that were not subtle at all. We were like, all right, let's try this one that it's about puberty. Let's try this one that it's about orgasms. Let's try this take about that it's about sex. You know, like we tried so many things with that scene, and of course, like some dialogue is gone, but it was so much giggling and cackling that day, like because all of, you know, I read the script on my own, Larissa did on her own, so we both had very different interpretations of, so it was hilarious. But yeah, so there's subtle moments in the show about their inner animal, right? That I hope season 2 really shows Mischa learn that. I think that would be so interesting. Yeah, that'd be my thing. And just more like, I love drama. I just want more boyfriend. You know, I love more boyfriend drama, please. Like that's not over, Max and Brax. We, you know, we're dealing with Latinas here. We're psychotic. So yeah, so I hope for more drama in the relationship side of things.
I would like to see more drama.
Right?
I enjoyed the drama.
Me too.
I always would. I do.
That was fun to record because I was like, it's not far from reality. But yeah. But I'm really glad that, you know, there was just that natural drama that we all kind of like, right? So I definitely look forward to, after doing the show, of actually reading the books. Like it's actually definitely a goal of mine to finish them all. I started the first 2, and it's been really neat to kind of do it backwards. So I'm just so glad that this was picked up, for sure.
Well, this is kind of off topic, but if either you or Mischa had to pick one member of the bestie pack to spend a day with, who would it be? So you could answer for you and Mischa or one or the other.
To spend the day with. Oh my gosh.
There's so many fun characters.
Yeah. So many super fun characters. Putting myself in Mischa's shoes, I honestly, I forgot his name, but the super nice troll guy.
Yes, Doug.
Oh my
Doug?
goodness.
I think
I want to say
that
Doug. Something
Who
with a
loves
D.
Broadway musicals? Who just wants to dance?
yes,
Oh,
that character, Doug, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it was Doug.
I think so. Because there was a couple that looked like him. But him specifically, just from the moment we meet him, and he's like, musicals, and he's always like Broadway, and he knew how to get the Wi-Fi. I was like, okay, that's the friend that I need in my life. And just how non-confrontational that character was, and so like just everything about that character, I was like, I'm in love with this character. So I think both Gigi and Mischa want to spend a full day with Doug and actually go see a Broadway musical together.
Oh my God, he would die. He would die.
Yes. So
fingers crossed.
Yes, exactly.
Season 2.
I loved that character so much.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's me. It's like square face and a love of musicals. Kill me now. So I'm a troll in a magical world. How fun.
I actually laughed really hard because the teacher looks like Doug, right?
Yeah.
One of the teachers is a troll as well. I don't know why, because it's like kind of a serious moment where Mischa says to the teacher, have you ever been to the human world? And everybody's like, Mischa, you are so rude. And Mischa says, I'm just saying how it is. And everybody's like, don't you know trolls are not allowed in the human world? That line killed me because I was like, can we just put that everywhere in the world? Did you know trolls are not allowed in the human world? I laughed so hard because I'm like, oh yeah, they really shouldn't be allowed in the human world. We all know trolls to be internet like
Yep.
jerks.
Yeah.
So I just laughed so hard. I'm like, man, this is not what trolls look like. That's a nice troll right there. So I don't know. That was one of them. And yeah, look, our favorite character is a Broadway troll. And
I love it.
it was just too funny. But yeah, I'd go with that. Mhm. I mean, I'm a little interested on the mermaid girl. She was evil.
Oh,
Yeah.
she
I feel we
was.
didn't get enough of her. And I think something definitely if season 2 happens, that a lot of those girls in the mean group, I was like, not
Mm.
even between them, there's trust, which was
No.
super interesting.
I love that like one line that quickly, I mean, I guess it's more than a couple lines, but we don't know much about harpies or like what their deal is, what their strengths are, but there's a couple lines where it's just like you could like fly like really high again and not have to be like limited. I'm like, oh, was there like a secret like fence where the harpies can go out further then? And like, want to know who put that fence up? Like, I have so many questions.
Agreed. There's a lot of things in this world that I couldn't agree with you more than I'm like, oh, we can really expand so much. Yeah. No, it's clearly, if anybody listening, we need a season 2. Clearly.
Yes.
Speaking of season 2, I want one. I think we all do, but because these are based on a series of books that are aged up a bit and have a bit more way, like sexy bits. Do you imagine this world will grow up a year or so to cover more adult themes, though, if there is a second season?
I think so, because I from what I'm noticing on the really good reviews and the reactions, people really liked that it was risky.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that, I mean, look at a lot of the things we talked about. Like we're in shock. Finally, an animated show talked about this. So I think, honestly, I really think that's the right choice to continue to push the boundaries. And I get it, like I do get it that this show, for that it's YA, it's just a much wider audience than just really making it too adult.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really, I think one of you said, if really young kids see this, they can ask questions.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think
Definitely.
it can definitely push the boundaries even further, and still keep it fun. I think it has so much room for it.
It does.
Yeah, and it's layered with magic, like it's layered with fantasy, and it, it can't get any better than that, right? And it was just so cool to see all the fairies too be so connected to Earth. That it was super how they sing to the earth, to make things grow. There's just a lot of beautiful little Easter eggs in there that I'm like, man, we should all be like that. And I look outside, I'm like, we're cutting the trees, like, so no, I love it. Yeah.
Times. So I think big question, the biggest question of the day, really.
Okay.
Go
Just a throwaway
on,
question, but it's fun.
Commit, Liam, commit.
So, apart from your own character, and if it was like a real thing, so take our minds, Supernatural Academy's real, you could go, but who would you want to be? But you can't choose yourself already.
Oh, and I can't choose Mischa.
Nope.
Oh,
And it doesn't have to be like character specific. Like, just in this world, who do you think it would be fun to like be? Like, a wolf, a fae, a vampire?
Honestly, yeah, like wow, I love your question. Um,
Pretty good.
wow. Honestly, like I'd love to be some sort of like, oh, I love this question. Oh my gosh. I honestly I would love to be like some sort of like super old, like a super old like warlock of some sort that just knows
Mhm.
everything. But like that wise old
Yeah.
character that's just hidden in the forest that if you need to go talk to, you know,
Yes.
that character, careful, but they know it all. Yeah, like I don't know. Like I feel like if I had to have my own character on this show, I would love to be. It's almost like that tree. You know the tree in the show.
Oh yeah. The riddle tree. Yeah.
Yes.
Riddle tree. Yeah, almost like that. It's like, but like in a old ancient like witch or like warlock of some sort, like that's just in the cave, like away from
So
everyone.
like Grandmother Willow from Pocahontas.
Yes. Yes. You got it. You got it. Like even remember those. I love this movie so much. But remember Disney's animated movie Hercules?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember the three witches that do all the potions and stuff?
The
like,
music.
Yeah.
No, not
Right?
them.
how weird they are, and they just know everything. And they're doing all the potion and all this stuff for
The fates.
Hades.
The fates, that's it.
Bad faith,
Mhm.
yeah, with their golden strings. And they're like, we
Yeah.
control life.
And then the scissor, like so is it like that, like that old person that just knows too much and can be evil but is good because they believe in truth. So yeah, wow, I got really into it because there's so many things running through my head of like what, like it was the Matrix in my head right now, trying to come up with a decision. Now I gotta hear what you guys would be. Don't leave it to just me. And like now I'm curious what you guys would want to be.
I don't even have to say I'd be a fae.
Yeah.
I already look like a troll, so I want to be a fae.
My goodness.
Look at this face. It's a brick.
I love that. I don't know what to say other than laugh. That was really funny.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think I'd want to be a vampire. I like the idea of just running real fast. I was all for that. I'm like, I could use that in life.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be late to anything.
Right?
I don't know. Maybe a dragon. I like that they're like the outliers where there's like not a lot of them around left and you can fly, but you also have like fire. So you probably can defend yourself more than a harpy. So that's pretty nice to have fire.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
being a dragon was what ran through my head first. Like, I need to be el dragón, like the next thing.
Yeah.
But then there's something about like old creepy people that I'm like, nah, I don't do that. And just know everything. It's like old Regina George from Mean Girls.
Yeah.
It's just like the meme book. It's just a book of spells. That's
Oh,
a
I
little
love it.
Exactly. You took it right out of my mouth. That's exactly it.
Amazing.
Book of spells is the burn book in Mean Girls.
Yes. Oh, that's
I
amazing.
think this is
Yeah.
now a new show that you have to develop.
I quite love it actually because she, they even say the plastics like Regina George, she knows everybody's life. She knows everybody's gossip. Same with these old warlocks. They know everybody's shit, So, this is the best. I'm gonna dream of this. This is the best. Thank you. Thank you for your very important question, Liam.
Thank you.
It really opened up not just, like, hope. It very much opened up a very scary can of worms that now people have to stop me. But yeah.
So Liam might have had the most important question, but this is by far what I've also been waiting most to ask is, what horror film have you recently shown to your parents to scare them? And what description did you give it?
Oh my God. Well, I've been home alone for some time because they're all in Mexico. But we definitely watched something scary. Oh, yes. Okay, this was exactly 2.5 weeks ago, just before I came back. They had never seen the one that the Spanish horror film, The Orphanage.
Oh.
They had never seen it. And it has moments of fun in it too, but there's moments of like, what the fuck? That really mess you up. Really mess you up. That whole ending is just tragic. But well, so I remember very well what I told them. So I did tell them I can't remember if it was named exactly like this in English, but remember that movie Little Princess? That's a long time ago, a beautiful movie in an orphanage.
Oh, she rides elephants.
I think, yes. Yes.
That's all I have apparently.
Yes, old movie. And the dad lives, spoilers for anybody. And the dad of that little girl is in the building across the street, but he's blindfolded because of the war. He's blind.
Oh yeah.
And it's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful movie. I think Coppola directed it back.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Oh, Alfonso Cuarón did? Okay. It was just some amazing director. Okay. Cuarón, a Mexican, of course.
Sorry.
No, of course.
I'm just a basic white bitch.
I should have
from the UK.
known. I should have known my own people, man. So Cuarón's one of his first films. So I told my parents, I'm like, this is like Little Princess. I was like, this is a gorgeous film in an orphanage in Spain. And my mom's like, hi, I love Spain. I'm like, I know you do, Mom. So why don't we watch it? And my dad's like, yeah, you remember I said your vows to you again in Spain? My mom's like, yes, I remember. So they all got like super, super like, oh, I can't wait to watch this movie. And yeah, I'm like, I'll go get the popcorn. And so, yeah, we're watching it. And as it starts, and then this fucking kid in the film's like, like going crazy and like all this fighting. And my mom's like, oh, wow. Oh, and like when the ghostly things with that like burlap sack mask coming, my mom's like, oh my God. Like it was just so funny because the film takes its time. From any of you that have seen it, like it just gets creepier and creepier until that second half's like, what am I watching? But so I'm glad that this one just kind of let them kind of ease into it, because they were like, oh my God, like and they were having fun because it does have that Guillermo del Toro fun as well. So they were at times like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. Oh, this is nice. Like when the little boy is trying to tell the mom, like, do this like Easter egg hunt with me and we can find all these things. My mom's like, hi, isn't that cute? Oh, they're finding me. Oh, like she just. So that's the last movie they saw with me. So they're in Mexico. They're lucky. They're taking a break right now. So yeah, no, I love it so much. It's my favorite hobby to destroy the yeah.
The fact that he used a little princess as the hook to get them in.
That's my favorite.
That's the thing. I gotta really use like underrated films or something for them to be like, oh, for them to really listen. I still think my favorite one is Suspiria. Like, I really think that was the best, the best description. I told my mom. I'll tell you guys, but that was the best one. Because my mom loves dance movies. Like she loves dance movies and dance shows, like Dancing with the Stars, dance anything. She's watching it. And so Suspiria, I was like, Mom, the prequel of Step Up is here. And my mom's like,
Oh, God.
I love Step Up. And we started, and my mom's like, oh my God. Like when she starts like twisting around, and my mom's like my mom's mortified. I think that's probably the best video I've tweeted. And then when all the witches are like, oh, mom, like with the weird mom one, I forget the character. I forget all the names in that movie, but that the main witch, my mom's face is very funny. Like she's just like she's just like, what the fuck am I watching? And I'm friends with one of the producers in the news Suspiria, and I said, I have gold. I am sending you gold. And so I just sent him the video, and he's like, this is why I have a career. So he was Bradley Fisher is his name. So he just said, wow, I could quit now. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I will not stop this trend of hurting my parents to watch scary movies. But it's been a really good time.
Oh my God, that's such a clever idea though, tricking people. Oh. I'm just going to be sitting tonight now, and I'm just going to go through a list of like, how would I describe this horror film?
And please share with me any ideas. I am running out. I've been doing this for years. Like I am running out of ideas here. So please.
Oh man. Have you seen The Orphan yet? The one with the twits?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I feel like I was like, if they haven't, that's amazing. It's just like, oh, they adopt this sweet child and it's a family drama.
Yeah. No, and I love using that a lot. I use the family drama a lot, like dysfunctional family. Like I use that a lot. With Hereditary, that's what I said.
Oh my God.
We actually went to the theater. And I'm like, it's like a dysfunctional family. Toni Collette's up for an Oscar. She's up for an award for this movie. My mom's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I know you love that show, This Is Us. It's very emotional like that. And my mom was like, yeah, we should go.
Oh
So we went. And my mom's a big believer in ghosts and witchcraft and like all this shit. Like she's scared of it. And so this movie, like that whole second half, when
I bet.
when the naked people start coming in the house, my mom was like, I no, like so loud in the theater. She couldn't. She was so loud. I know. Like she hated me. That one was actually, I think that might be the only one she just was mad. Because the other ones, like The Descent or Train to Busan or, fun, scary, like jump scare movies. Like she laughs and, she throws the pillow at my dad. And then, they just keep watching it, even though they hate what they're watching. But definitely Hereditary and Old Boy. I was hated for days.
You made them watch Old Boy? Oh, that is
I said that that great Oscar nominated film Parasite. This is what it got inspired from. And because my parents loved Parasite. The whole world did. And so they're like, oh, okay. And I even posted that reaction video too. And when that whole twist at the end, like the reveal,
That's so gross.
of like, no. And she says out loud, that's not allowed. Like that's what she said. And my dad's like,
oh God.
My dad felt sick watching that, but my mom, she's like, that's not allowed. Like that's all that came out of her body. But yeah, those two did not
a great film though, but
super
yeah.
good. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd ever show my parents.
Martyrs could be a good one to trick them into.
Which one?
Martyrs.
Oh my God.
The
Martyrs?
French.
Oh,
French
no.
one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's a really, yeah.
It could be like a French. It's about two friends going into the French countryside for a getaway.
I love it.
I'm
Okay.
like high tension.
Oh, okay.
It's a lesbian love story, and she's just trying to convince her family to accept them. Except
Yeah. Oh, that is funny.
You all are terrible.
I got tricked into watching High Tension. I gotta pass this on.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good.
I would.
What's the name of the actress that just played Princess Diana and Spencer? What's her name?
Oh, Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart.
So my mom saw the Kristen Stewart Christmas film.
Oh, I love
The
that.
happiest season.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna use
Oh,
that. I'm gonna
we're high tension. Oh god.
That's brilliant to be like, this was the origin film that the French people did it, and then America took it and made it holiday themed.
Yeah, I think that's, you guys are inspiring me here. I'll keep thinking on the Martyrs one because I think I can connect it to another movie, but we have High Tension figured out.
Oh my
Liam,
goodness.
I can't believe you said Martyrs still.
I would say the movie Audition. It was
I'm like sweating now.
it was Kurt
It's about a
Saenga.
struggling actor.
Yeah.
No, it was, I mean,
Yeah.
Kurt Saenga was the one who said it was like a romantic comedy at first, and with that, killer ending, I'm like, oh, that's true.
Oh god.
You guys are evil. And I really like you.
Well,
Oh, shit.
I
Feel so
have-
sorry for your parents.
I have
Oh,
two final questions. One, what are you most excited for in horror for 2022? Because there's a lot that's coming out.
Oh my God. Oh my God. If you had asked me this last week, I would have said Scream, but I finally saw it. I loved it.
Yay!
Oh my God. I loved it. And I think next on my list, I'm just a massive fan of Texas Chainsaw. Like, I've seen even the bad ones.
They're still fun. They're good popcorn films.
Totally. But I'm a big fan of Leatherface. Like I love him the most of any villain. I like, he is my
I
Michael
love
Myers.
that.
Like like Leatherface is like my teddy bear, like like Leatherface to me is Sully from Monsters Inc. I just want to hug him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just like that. Like, actually, I have a Monsters Inc. Sully right across.
Love it.
I Leatherface is just my buddy. He's my gentle giant. He's my homie. He's that, that character in the Goonies. Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
I love him. So I can't wait to see this new Netflix. I'm gonna be the first one. I think it's like in 10 days or something. The 18th.
The 18th, yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta do like a watch at my house or something. But that's like the next thing I'm like super stoked on. But you're right. There's a lot of things in horror to look forward to.
I know.
A lot.
So excited.
This year. So I'm pumped. I'm just going with what's like literally the next one, like right now. And I saw, I mean, it's not horror, but kind of fits this gathering we're doing with fantasy and supernatural and stuff. I'm pretty stoked for Halloween for Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
My childhood coming back.
Yep.
So that definitely is on my list.
If they don't put one musical number in that, I will riot.
There's multiple.
Oh,
I've
good.
seen this. I've seen set videos.
Yeah, that just makes my life right there so much.
And then the last question is, what's next for you?
Well, it's been a really interesting after Bingo Hell. It's really been interesting the love that is happening now for that film. Lately, I've just seen people catch on to the film, and it's been really cool to see that. And truly, thanks to that film, I've been pitching. I can't say what, but I've been pitching for movies that I'm like, I can't believe I'm in this room right now. So there are some eggs and some plants that, seeds that eggs, plants, Gigi, make a decision. There are some seeds that, there are some seeds I'm definitely planting on a good number of shows that I'm putting myself in the front, and working hard and this year really has given me time to really, really think hard on my projects. And I'm so inspired to start writing and creating El Gigante, the feature, which I think it's time. That short film of mine, it's just, I adore it. I adore that villain who's very similar to Leatherface, but Mexican. And of course, I think it's time to really start honing down that Santa Muerte horror story too. I love that the culture of that cult. And so those are two scripts that I'm currently really focusing on. And then what's next? Again, I can't say what, but I got an opportunity to voice direct and star on a show.
Ooh, I can't wait to see once that's announced.
Yeah, so that is my first job coming up next month, and so I'm like, I've never voice directed, but now to voice direct and be one of the lead characters in it, I'm really excited. So I can't say more than that, but this one I can definitely say it is a lot of gore. It is a lot of aliens and guns, and it's nuts. So that's as far as I can say without any other details, but that's the next job. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. There's a lot of horror things that I'm working hard towards, and oh my God, I can't wait. And also, voicing on the preschool show, Coco Melon is a nice little side thing. But yeah, so a lot of fun things coming up that I can't wait for everyone to find out. Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited. Also, I'm glad people are finally catching on to Bingo Hell because it's fucking fantastic. We know I love that. And Amazon, if you could we get a Blu-ray release date?
I love that.
Because I want one.
I gotta send you a poster, my friend. I gotta send you a nice big size poster of
oh my God. Now you're gonna make me kind of tear up on here. So I'm gonna wrap that up because oh my gosh. But I just want to say, well, one, thanks to my co-hosts for joining, Liam and Cass.
Yay.
And just a huge thank you, Gigi. As always, just a ray of sunshine, even with the, torturing your parents. And everyone also, seriously, go watch Supernatural Academy. It is so good. Peacock, I mean, come on, let's promote. Let's get on that. But really, it is a really fun show. And I'm just happy to hear all of this, that all that's happening for you, Gigi. That makes me so excited.
Thank you so much, guys. And I'm so thankful. I really appreciate it. I'm excited. It's early in the career for voice and for directing. And I'm just yeah, give it to me, I want to just go for all this stuff and we'll see what happens. I'm so excited and thankful and thankful for wonderful, wonderful folks like you guys that just are so supportive. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. And also, little did I expect to do a Zoom with almost phlegm coming out of the screen. I'm so sorry. But hey, like Spider-Man says, everybody gets one. So, yeah. And I think Liam's new official name is Doug. So that's your new name. You're that.
It's better than my usual nicknames, which we can't see on YouTube.
Well, with that, I will say thank you, everybody, and goodbye.
Bye.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.